Hello, and welcome to another episode of the MMA Scoop. We have some very interesting and consequential news to get to, but before we do, please leave a like and subscribe if you are new for the latest and greatest from the MMA community. In our first story, we have a post-fight reaction from Shane Vera following his win over Dominick Cruz this Saturday at UFC San Diego. Many people would agree that Dominick Cruz has a very unorthodox and confusing fighting style, but considering he is widely regarded as the greatest bantamweight of all time, many would also agree that this style is equally as effective. However, Cheeto didn't seem too impressed, and had this to say at the post-fight press conference.
Did you, a lot's been made of his style and stuff like that. Did you find it particularly tricky, or did you think, I'll chill and wait for him to come in?
Honestly, me and my team, we really think the way he fights is kind of like very low level. Like, there's no base, there's no good stance. All that movement side to side, we told each other, we have to kick this guy's ass.
I'm certainly not going to be the one to argue with Cheeto after that absolutely devastating head kick finish on Saturday night. However, former UFC fighter Josh Thompson and the father of MMA refereeing Big John McCarthy of the Weighing In podcast offer a different reason for why Dominick Cruz may have been finished on Saturday night.
We all know that stylistically, his style, you need to make sure that your speed stays. Otherwise, things like this happen. This is how it happens, because one step behind puts your head in a place that it shouldn't have been. The Dom of 28 and 29, his head would have been out of the way by then.
So, which scenario do you find more likely? Do you agree with Cheeto's theory that Cruz has a low-level style to begin with? Or do you agree with Josh's theory, being that due to age, his speed just isn't there to fit his style anymore? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Bonus question. After Cheeto's win on Saturday night, DC ended the post-fight interview calling Shane Vera, quote, the coolest cat in the UFC. Do you agree with this? And if not, let us know who you think is. Our next story comes from the Dana White's Contender series. Last week on the show, three-time NCAA Division I national champion out of Penn State, and no doubt one of the most discussed prospects in MMA today, Bo Nickal, scored a first-round rear-naked choke and making it look easy to go 2-0 in his professional career. Although impressive, Dana decided to hold out on giving Bo a UFC contract, citing the fact that he is only 2-0 so far in his career, and vowed to give him another shot on the Contender Series later this year. We now have our answer as to when and who he will be fighting. For the season finale, Bo Nickal will be taking on 32-year-old 6-1 pro Donovan Beard. If Bo passes this test, it only seems right that Dana would award this surging prospect a contract. I'm curious to hear what you think. Should Dana have given him a contract on last week's episode of the Contender Series? Or is he doing his job by building a very promising prospect and getting him the experience he needs before entering the world's most premier MMA promotion? Let us know what you think down below. As we all excitedly watch the rise of an exciting prospect, it also seems we have no choice but to say so long to a fan favorite and UFC veteran, Shane Burgos. After an incredibly exciting back-and-forth win over another fan favorite, Charles Air Jourdain, at UFC Long Island last month, we had no doubts that both of these warriors would be a UFC mainstay for a long time to come. However, Shane broke the news on the MMA Hour by having this to say.
Fight that I wanted to test free agency, test the water, see whatever. I know what I think I'm worth. I know what I am worth. I want to see what everyone else thought I was worth. So I went out there, I tested the free agency market, and I'm excited to announce that I'm signing with the PFL.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it was not an easy decision. It was just one of those. It was an offer. I couldn't turn it up. I mean, I got two daughters. I got to go back home and I got to look at them in their face and be like, it was worth it when it's all said and done in the sport. With this deal, I feel like that'll secure that.
Certainly not the news I think any UFC fan wanted to hear today, but considering the circumstances Shane discussed, one can only respect him for doing what he thinks is right for his family. I think I can speak on behalf of all fight fans for thanking Shane for some of the best fights to have ever graced the canvas, and in wishing him congratulations and good luck in the PFL. Next, we have a prediction for the rapidly approaching UFC 280 this October from none other than Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Being that UFC 280 is being headlined by Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira and Islam Makhachev for the lightweight belt, the same division that Paddy is currently climbing, seems that it would be a fight that Paddy has a close eye on. He had this to say backstage at this week's UFC San Diego.
What do you think of that fight between Charles and Islam in October?
It's going to be a big fight, you know what I mean? But I think Charles is going to have too much for him. I think Charles will finish him in like 3, something like that. He's thought a much higher caliber of opponent, a lot more dangerous fighters, and he's come through the other side. And I just think he's got too many tools in his arsenal for Islam to deal with.
As UFC 280 approaches, who do you have winning the main event? Is Paddy right? Is Charles just too dynamic of a fighter for Islam to deal with? Or is Islam the true chosen one at 155, as Khabib and Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov have been telling us all along? Let us know what you think down below. In our last story, after being stopped in the first round this last weekend at the PFL playoffs in Wales, fan favorite, former UFC title contender, and former Bellator world champion Rory Macdonald has decided to retire from the sport of MMA. I think many fans will be saddened by this news, as among many other things, I think many fans' first memory of Rory will be of the absolute heart and determination he put on display, and possibly the greatest fight of all time against Robbie Lawler for the welterweight strap at UFC 189. In breaking the news, he took to Instagram addressing his retirement. My time has come to put the gloves down for good. I'm so thankful for this sport and every person I've been able to meet along the way. I started this sport as a 14-year-old kid. I still remember my first day and knowing this is what I want to spend my life doing. The passion for martial arts and becoming a pro MMA fighter gave me hope and a way to a better life. And I'm so thankful to God for putting that gym Toshido MMA in Kelowna in my path. It truly changed the direction of my life and saved me. What an adventure this career has been. 17 years of professional fighting. It all came and went so fast. So many painful trainings that are etched into my being, traveling to all parts of the planet and meeting so many people. I've learned so much about myself through this career, not all of it good, and I've made so many mistakes along the way. But here I am, 33 years old, better man because of those mistakes, to which I'm very grateful I've grown up. I want to thank all of my fans that have been so supportive. I never got into the sport for fame or any acknowledgement, and it's been hard adjusting to attention like that, but I am truly thankful for your kindness you've shown me. Thank you to all my friends and family that have went out of their way to help me live out my dream of fighting at the highest level of MMA. Thank you to the UFC, Bellator, PFL, for the opportunity to fight on the world stage. And all of the staff of those organizations. You've all been really cool people to hang out with. Sorry you had to put up with me being cranky and needy most of the time we spent together. Thank you to my coaches and my training partners and managers. I think all of us can agree in congratulating Rory on an outstanding career. And thank you for all the amazing moments. That's going to do it for today's episode of the MMA Scoop. Check back for tomorrow for another video bringing you all the latest news from the MMA community. Before you go, please leave a like and subscribe as it really helps get our name out there. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of the MMA Scoop.